On behalf being in the military makes you grow up in a hurry. You're an adult. They treat you like one. You have a job to do and you expect to do it and do it right. Military life for a young man is hard. That's worth it. It showed me that I can do more than I thought I could do. This doesn't make life easy by no means, but I knew that I was up for any challenge. It taught me to keep pushing through even when things didn't go as planned. As Marines would say, improvise, adapt, and overcome. Serving the greatest country in the world was an honor. Although it's 30 years since I walked off my ship, headed home for good, I look back at my short time in the Navy as one of the most important decisions of my life. following video takes you through the beginning of military life, boot camp, basic training. Then to a short trip to honor all those men and women that fought bravely in the wars that kept us free. It will also give you a glimpse of the families that are left behind at home. They're serving this great country too. Finally, a short segment that shows how serving veterans don't see themselves as anything special, just doing what they feel they should do. Thank goodness they have the support of patriotic Americans. I hope you enjoy this short 8-minute presentation and honor those that serve this wonderful country.
Here we go. On the road. 27.
Good morning. It's my pleasure today to introduce our keynote speaker. Our speaker is one of our very own members of our Tiger family. He is a Major retired from the United States Army. He served from 1982 to 2006, completed his JROTC training at NC State University in 1991. His primary jobs were nuclear, biological, chemical, warfare operations officer. He participated as a combat veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom. His overseas assignments included Germany, Korea, and the Middle East. He was an airborne paratrooper. This gentleman is also a former Teacher of the Year here at Crescent High School in 2020. We have a number of staff members at Crescent that go by the last name Parnell, and our students affectionately refer to this gentleman as Military Parnell. Everyone, please join me in a Tiger welcome for Major Retired United States Army, Mr. Darrell Parnell.
Can we back up one slide? Go back up one slide, please. All right, let's go forward. All right, we'll go with this. All right. Today is what day? Veterans Day. In the military, we normally recognize 3 holidays. One is Armed Forces Day, set aside some time to remember the men and women that are serving currently on active duty. And then there's Memorial Day in May. Who do we recognize at Memorial Day? Those who have given the ultimate sacrifice, who have died in battle. And I would say that that's probably the hardest day to get through. Because you think about the men and women we serve with and the ones that were left behind. And then Veterans Day, we take time to remember all of the veterans. They've served both in peacetime and in wartime. And I want to give a big thank you to all men and women that have served in the military. If you are a veteran, please stand up and be recognized. Let's give a big round of applause. And then let me call the students that are here today. Not that you got a choice, but glad that you're here. And as I go through this today, I'm going to talk about some of my experiences in the military. And since I'm a history teacher, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how we came to celebrate Veterans Day. But I got to do one thing for them. Where are my U.S. history students at? Where are they at? All right, I have my Constitution. Hold yours up. Come on, let's see it. Uh-oh. Guess what we're going to do when we get back to class today? They think I do it when I say I carry this everywhere I go. And I do. Because as a soldier, your oath says that you will protect and defend the people of the United States, protect and defend this Constitution. So it goes wherever I go. So we get back in class today. Where's Cameron at? Cameron, where you at? But he usually reminds all the students when they come to class every day, take his Constitution out, because we generally read out of it. All right, next slide, please. All right, what you see here is a combat infantry unit in World War I. It's 2 minutes before the armistice is going to be signed, and they are waiting. They're waiting to hear that hostilities are over in World War I. Trust me, a lot of us understand that have served in combat zone. Find out that we're not fighting anymore. Now, World War I, called the Great War. World War I was fought to protect democracy. Next slide, please. As Mr. Owens talked about earlier, President Wilson in 1919, a year after the war came to an end, said that we should set aside a day that is filled with pride and heroism of those who have died in our country's service. That is, they went to war and did not come back home. And we should remember them because it has freed us from tyranny, from German aggression in Europe. We kind of focus on that word justice. And what I remind my students is that a lot of the soldiers who fought in World War I, when they came back home, justice wasn't shown to them. Justice means fair treatment under the law. And some of our most decorated soldiers and units were African Americans who fought in World War I, the Harlem Hellfighters. And they come back home to a country that said, we're fighting this war to maintain democracy. But they come back home to a country that still has Jim Crow laws in effect. Next slide, please. All right, let's play this.
You probably know that every year on November 11th, Americans celebrate Veterans Day to honor the millions of men and women who have served or are serving in the nation's armed forces. But bet you didn't know the whole story behind the holiday. For starters, it wasn't originally called Veterans Day, but Armistice Day, to commemorate the truce signed between the Allies and Germany in World War I on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918. The first Armistice Day in the U.S. was celebrated on November 11th, 1919. All business was suspended for 2 minutes starting at 11 a.m., and parades and public gatherings were held to commemorate the occasion. Later, America also began honoring its unknown soldiers on Armistice Day, a tradition that continues today. At 11 a.m. every Veterans Day, a color guard ceremony represents all branches of the military and the Tomb of the Unknowns in Arlington National Cemetery. In 1954, the name was changed to Veterans Day, following a national campaign to have the day honor all veterans, not just those who served in World War I. And did you know, for 7 years, Veterans Day was actually celebrated in October? In 1968, Congress moved Veterans Day to the 4th Monday in October, so that government employees could enjoy a long weekend. But in 1975, President Gerald Ford returned Veterans Day to November 11th due to the historical significance, and that's where it sits on the calendar today. And do you know the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day? Both of them honor those men and women who have served in the military, but Memorial Day honors America's war dead, while Veterans Day honors all American veterans, living and dead. The U.S. Census Bureau estimates that there are currently over 21 million living military veterans in the United States. More than 16 million of these served during times of war, while 5.5 million served during peacetime only. So this Veterans Day, don't forget to say thanks to some of the millions of men and women who have served our country.
Okay, a few years after President Wilson led us to start Armistice Day, Congress passed another resolution, and it talks about that we should commemorate that day with thanksgiving and prayer, as we have done this morning. And that we should display our flag as we have. And let me say this about this flag. As I have traveled around the world, especially in the Middle East, people outside the United States, when they see that flag coming, they see it as hope and help. And on our uniforms, we have that American flag sewn on it. So let's take some pride in that flag and understand that the world sees it as hope and help, and a place that they want to come and be a part of. Next slide, please. All right, before we play this video, I need to hear a big airborne. So on the count of 3, everybody here, I want to hear a really loud and thunderous airborne. 1, 2, 3. is not a good airborne day. It's a good day to train because it's raining, but it's not a good airborne day. However, when it does rain, and I'm feeling a little gloomy and doopy, I watch this video. This is one of my unique experiences in the military. A lot of fun, jumping out of airplanes. It's the men and women who do this. They are dedicated. And I always tell the kids, the other unique thing about this is you spend, you have to take an airborne test about every month or every couple of months to maintain your airborne proficiency. So pay attention, students. When I ask you to go home and study for a few minutes for a test, we would spend anywhere from 6 to 8 hours practicing and prepping gear for a 2-minute test. Because you had to exit that plane, get on the ground, and get up and walk off. And trust me, if anything could happen outside of that airplane, I experienced it. And the only way I could get down to the ground and walk away is I had to remember. I had to put into practice all the things that we had practiced and rehearsed. All right, let's play this. Yeah. Okay. I feel better already. It just reminded me that we started out as pharmacists today, and it changed to Veterans Day. Some folks have already talked about it, and you saw in that video. Next slide, please. All right. This is going to be the tough part, so bear with me. This is my more than 20 years in the U.S. military. When I was a little boy, growing up down in Eddyville, on Saturday morning, I sat on the front porch and I'd watch the convoy go by, National Guard. And I said, I'm going to do that one day. I thought that was the coolest thing. Those little green trucks going by with soldiers in it. I'm going to do that one day. Well, I did, but it was a surprise to my wife. We got married, and I came in one day and said, I'm going to the Army. High adventure after that. 1991, I got a commission from North Carolina State as a second lieutenant. And Kate and I went back on active duty. We had, during our enlisted time, we served 3 years in Germany. Now, what's unique about our assignment in Germany is that most Americans think about terrorism starting on 9/11, 2001. But in the 1980s, we had to deal with it in Germany. In fact, we had an attack on our base, the place that my wife had been a few days before teaching at. So we learned about terrorism in the 1980s. And then you see some pictures there. I spent a year in Korea on the DMZ, and that was high adventure, because it was really tense. And then my time in the Middle East, I was part of Operation Iraqi Freedom. And then on the right side, 2005, my last jump. So it was a fun jump. The family was there. And that is, at the top right, you see, I'm standing there with our son Wade and Katie. And then at the bottom, that's our retirement ceremony in 2006. And I've got to talk about some of the folks that were part of that retirement ceremony. And my oldest daughter is on the right. And Claire, and pay attention to this, young people. This was life for her sophomore, junior, and senior year in high school. Taking AP classes, working, and helping her mom out with a little brother and sister. And I think the story goes something like this. I'd been overseas, I came back home, and I got orders to go back. So Claire looks at her mom and says, okay, Mom, here we go again. So here's this high school kid takes a lot of responsibility to help mom out. Now, the little girl is Katie. Is that it, Katie? Okay. Katie is a, I say 20-something graduate. 2018 graduate, Preston. Hey, you can see it. And she also graduated from Lander. And she's a K-5 teacher in Greenwood District 50. Of course, they had the day off, so she got to go today. Now, I remember some of her first 3 years in life. Not all of it. Because I was going back and forth overseas. And I came home from one deployment. They met me at the airport. You gotta understand, Katie was somewhat of a, I guess she was my sidekick while I was at home. She would kind of hang on to me. But because I was going back and forth overseas, she forgot who I was. So we're at the airport. My mother and my wife, my oldest daughter, walk in the bathroom and they leave me standing there with Katie. And she is screaming to the top of her lungs. People are looking at me like, did you just scared down that kid? But no. We got to give some time to figure out who I am, that I'm Dad. All right, next slide. Okay, this is Wade ahead. Wade is our son. He's in the U.S. Air Force. He just came home in August from a deployment to the Middle East. And he got married to a Crescent girl. She also has 2017. Oops. I didn't let them check this. I kind of wanted to surprise them with it. But, and then Wade and Maddie will be home Monday night, and then Wednesday morning, we're taking them to the airport, and they're heading to Okinawa, Japan. Anybody know where Okinawa, Japan is? A little bitty island, way out in the Pacific. And they'll be over there for 4 years. But that's okay with me because here's the way I look at it. Road trip. I've already told my family, hey, when school's out in May, we can go plane. We're going to military hop all the way over there to visit them. So, we are a military family, and we are a Crescent family.
Amen.
All right, here we go. Next slide. Got any idea how hard this is going to be? When you are in the military, even when you are in garrison, you're out training a lot. Weeks, months. You go on deployments, you go on overseas short tours. But somebody has to pay the bills. Somebody has to raise the kids. And guess who that is? It's the spouse. So, the real hero in our family is my wife.
Amen.
There is no way that I could have done what I did for nearly 25 years without her taking care of business at home. In fact, if she goes before I go, the first person I'm gonna call is one of those, what do you call them, CPAs, or accountants or something like that, and I'm gonna hand them the box. Here. I'm not sure. But she does give me a briefing about once a year. But, again, come on up here. Yeah. I'll be right back. All right, one last slide. All right, young people. Let's talk about how you honor a veteran. Can I go all the way up there?
Sure. I mean, maybe.
Maybe we'll see. All right, listen to me very carefully. Get an education. Stay in school, get an education. I appreciate the thank yous, but thank me by doing this. Stay in school, get an education, get a job. You can take care of your family, and then go out and serve. I'm not asking you to join the military. My son did, and I know there's a few of you out there that plan on doing that. But you serve others. Go teach a Sunday school class. Go work at a senior citizen center. Get an education, get a job, and serve others. And if you join the military, I'll be very proud of you. Don't join the military, I'm still going to be very proud of you. I appreciate the Veterans Day ceremony today, and I appreciate you listening to we talk about lifetime of service. And again, let's give a big round of applause to all of the veterans that are here today.
Let's give one more round of applause for this party. I have the distinct pleasure to introduce our Crescent High School chorale and Sarava Middle School singers as they make their way to the podium over here to get set. I do want to let you all know, as you hear each branch being played, we want to honor those veterans today. When you hear your branch military, please stand and be recognized at that time as we move through that song. This is a salute to the armed forces, and it is arranged by Pam Kirkland. And then we will round out and close out our ceremony with remarks from our very own superintendent, Ms. Kathy Hill. But Ms. Hamilton, at this time, I will turn it over to you. The United States Army
States Navy. The United States Coast Guard. The United States Air Force.
part of our program. I especially want to thank our community members who came out today. We always love having you in our schools, so thank you for making the effort. Whenever I watch a program like this, I'm just overwhelmed. I don't know about you, but there's a few things that overwhelm me. And as an educator, you try to make everything fit together when you speak, and I just want to apologize to you for a second because my comments may not fit together, but I want you to know a couple things that overwhelm me about today. And next, like this, first of all, is the veterans. Whenever you look at a veteran, you just see a sense of pride. And that sense of pride, you just want everybody to have, because that's what it means to be an American, is to be proud of where you come from and what was fought for you to have. And so I think to say thank you again. And then Mr. Parnell, you did a great job in so many ways. But I noticed something that I hope you all noticed too, and he honored his wife and his children. But did you notice when he said something about the retirement ceremony, whose ceremony it was? It was our retirement ceremony. And that told me that you were, and I never doubted you being sincere, okay? But that told me really that you really have all made it happen in Western States, ladies and gentlemen, spouses of people in the armed forces. This is the spouse that takes care of you. And so I want to take just a second to bring our other school children into the picture here, because what you may not know is that every classroom in our district is watching this program today. So I don't want to forget you all in this way. Whenever I come to Veterans Day, I think about my favorite veteran, my dad. He was in the United States Navy in the 50s. It's kind of interesting. We sold the family house last Christmas, and we found his Navy uniform. I don't know how Navy guys wear those real bottom white pants that are very stiff, but we found them. And I still have his kerchief in my car. And so I take great pride in honoring him. So I want another group of people to stand. And this is student participation, community participation in our classrooms. If you have a family member that's in the military presently or has served, please stand in their honor. And let me remind you, and also again, thank you for the support that you give. And also realize today that we're honoring you as a way to honor them. Y'all can be seated. One other thing I want to say in my closing remarks is, when you look at our students, from the orchestra that greeted you when you came in, to the chorale, chorus, the elementary choruses, and our band that you'll see in a minute. Fine Arts in Anderson 3 is just phenomenal. But I want to remind you, students, that the opportunities and the freedoms that we have to do what we do is because of the veterans sitting in these chairs. That didn't come without a price. And so never take for granted the freedom, the opportunity that you have. And remember that whether you choose to be a military member or whatever walk of life you think you go into, the greatest blessing in life is to do something and be a part of something that's bigger than yourself. That's what veterans have done. That's what teachers do. That's really our calling in life. And so this is just a good reminder of what other people did for our freedom. Don't take that for granted. Freedom wasn't free. And we have to fight for it and appreciate it every day. And so I say thank you. This has been a phenomenal program. I thank everyone who put it together. You all did a great job. We have one last treat, and let me just say, God bless America. Go Tigers.
Like the scripture said, know that students are working at our local is capturing a lot. Heard our students practicing the national anthem weeks in advance, so getting a lot of work in that. As we dismiss, we're going to end with America the Beautiful from our Crescent Band, directed by Travis Waters. And at the conclusion of that, we are all dismissed. And thank you all for coming out. Oh, and at the end of this, if we could, as we dismiss, all of our veterans, if you don't mind, if you'll come gather up here, we'd like to get a picture of all of our veterans in this day. Thank you.
Thank you again to all of our veterans. Thank you for your service. To all of our students, please remain seated. Everyone is now dismissed. We look forward to seeing each of you again back here next year as we celebrate once again. Have a great day and go Tigers.